There's a prayer many of us pray, but very few of us truly mean. We get on our knees, we look up to the sky, and we say, God, protect me. God, remove anything blocking my blessings. God, clear the path to my destiny. And then God answers. But He doesn't answer the way we expected. He answers by removing your best friend. He answers by allowing your partner to walk away. He answers by closing the door to the job you thought was your future. He answers by allowing conflict in your own family. And what do? We panic, we cry, we beg, we chase. We chase the very thing God is trying to save us from. Listen carefully. One of the hardest lessons you will ever learn as a man or as a woman of faith is this. Rejection is often divine protection in disguise. We become so obsessed with who left that we miss the hand of God protecting us from where they were taking us. You are grieving a loss, while heaven is celebrating a rescue. Understand this, your destiny is too large for small-minded people. Your calling is too heavy for weak shoulders. And God knows, He knows, that if certain people remain in your life, you will never become who you were created to be. They may not be bad people, they just are not your people. Their assignment in your story is complete. The chapter is finished, but you keep trying to rewrite the ending. You keep trying to tape the pages back together. Stop. When the trash takes itself out, you don't go searching through the dumpster to bring it back inside. When a dead branch falls off a tree during a storm, the tree does not mourn. It grows stronger. It grows higher. Scripture says in the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 3, can two walk together unless they agree? The moment they walked away, the agreement was broken. And when the agreement is broken, the walk is over. If you are hurting right now because someone you loved, someone you trusted, someone you built with, turned their back on you, wipe your eyes, stand up straight. You did not lose them. They lost you. And God is simply clearing the construction site so He can build something greater. So do not chase, do not beg, do not keep calling. Let them go and trust that what is meant for you will never need to be forced. Let's be honest. Let's stop pretending for a moment. When they left, you did not feel blessed. You did not feel protected. You felt betrayed. You felt abandoned. You stared at your phone, waiting for a message that never came. You looked at the empty seat at the table and wondered, what did I do wrong? Was I not enough? Did I say too much? Did I love too hard? And then the questions begin. Why did he leave after everything I did? Why did she turn on me when I was the only one there? Why did my business partner betray me? But listen carefully, you are asking the wrong question. You are asking, why me? When you should be asking, who sent you? And more importantly, who removed you? You see, we live life looking through a keyhole. We see the smile. We see the handshake, we hear the promises, but God stands on the other side of the door. He sees the whole room. He sees the dagger hidden behind their back. He hears the conversations they have about you when you leave. He sees the envy disguised as a compliment. You are crying because you lost a friend. God is celebrating because He removed a spy. This is what I call the divine disconnect. It is violent, it hurts, it feels like something has been torn from you, but it is necessary. Imagine you are climbing a mountain. You are exhausted, you are sweating, you are praying, God, give me strength to reach the top. And suddenly the strap on your heavy backpack snaps. The bag falls, it tumbles down the cliff. You scream, you reach for it. You watch your comfort and security disappear. You think it is a tragedy, but God saw the summit. He saw the thin air. He saw the narrow path. He knew that if you carried that extra weight one more mile, it would destroy you. He did not cut the strap to hurt you. He cut it to save you. Some of the people you are crying over were heavy backpacks, dead weight, anchors pretending to be sails. You wanted to fly, but you insisted on carrying rocks. And because you would not let go, God made them let go of you. There is a scripture that says God will make your enemies your footstool, but sometimes He removes them so they do not become your stumbling block. Think about Joseph. His brothers betrayed him. They threw him into a pit. They sold him. Painful? Yes. Unfair? Absolutely. But if Joseph had stayed comfortable in his father's house, if he'd remained wrapped in that colorful coat, he would never have reached Egypt. He would never have become a ruler. He would never have saved a nation. The disconnect was painful, but the disconnect was divine. The separation was the transportation. Now look at your life. Look at that empty space where someone used to sit. Stop trying to fill it with noise. Stop trying to fill it with rebounds. Stop trying to fill it with bitterness. Look at the space and recognize it for what it is. Cleaned house. God is cleaning house. He is sweeping out the dust. He is removing the trash. He is preparing the room for something new, but He cannot bring new furniture into a house that is already overcrowded. Understand this. You cannot have peace and drama in the same heart. You cannot have loyalty and betrayal at the same table. When God removes someone, it is often because their season has expired. We treat people like permanent fixtures when they were only temporary scaffolding. Scaffolding is necessary. While a building is under construction, it is rough, it is temporary, it supports the work. But once the building is complete, the scaffolding must come down. If it stays, it blocks the view. It ruins the structure. Some of you are crying over scaffolding. We were friends for 20 years. That was the foundation phase. We promised forever. You promised based on who you were, not who you are becoming. The divine disconnect happens when you outgrow what once supported you. It happens when your vision expands beyond their understanding. Have you noticed? The moment you become disciplined, the moment you stop certain habits, the moment you start building your life, some people start acting strange. They joke, they mock, they question you. That is the sound of the disconnect beginning. Do not apologize for your growth. Do not chase people who are threatened by it. When the phone stops ringing, let it stay silent. When the invitations stop coming, stay home and build. When they walk out the door, close it behind them. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. You are being aligned for something greater than you can currently see. But you will never see the sunrise if you keep staring at the sunset. You will never see the future if you keep staring at the past. The divine disconnect is God turning your head. He is redirecting your focus away from who left and toward who is coming. So take a deep breath. Feel that pain in your chest? Good. That is weakness leaving. That is dependency breaking. Yes, you are standing in a storm, but the rain is not trying to drown you. It is washing you clean. Stop chasing what fell. Let it fall. Prepare yourself for what grows after the storm, because the hardest realization is not that they left. The hardest realization is this: you never needed them in the first place. Let's talk about construction. You look at a skyscraper. It pierces the clouds. It stands firm against the wind. It holds thousands of people inside. It is a monument of strength. But before that building was finished, before the ribbon was cut, do you know what surrounded it? Scaffolding, metal pipes, wooden planks, safety nets. For years, you couldn't even see the beauty of the structure. All you saw was the cage around it. The scaffolding was necessary. Without it, the workers couldn't lay the bricks. Without it, they couldn't install the glass. Without it, the building would never rise. But here is the rule of construction you are forgetting in your own life. The scaffolding is not the building, and the scaffolding is temporary. Some of the people God removed from your life were not your foundation. They were scaffolding. They helped you reach a level. They supported you during a fragile season. Maybe they were there when you were broke. Maybe they were there when you were sleeping on a mattress on the floor. Maybe they introduced you to someone who changed your life. They served a purpose. They held you up when you were still under construction. But now the structure is solid. Now the walls are reinforced. Now the glass is in. And what happens when the building is complete? The scaffolding comes down. You are crying because the scaffolding is being removed. You are panicking because the people who once held you up are gone. You think you are going to fall, but God is saying, I am removing them because you can stand on your own now. If scaffolding stays up forever, it blocks the view. It hides the architecture. It becomes an obstruction. If certain people stayed in your life past their expiration date, they would obscure who you are becoming. They would block the light. They would limit the view. There is danger in keeping people around simply because we have history. History is not a reason for proximity. Just because we share a past does not mean we share a future. In 1 Corinthians chapter 3, the Bible speaks about building on a foundation. Some build with gold, silver, costly stones. Others build with wood, hay, and straw. And it says the fire will test the quality of each person's work. Sometimes when God removes people, He is removing the wood, the hay, and the straw before the fire comes. He knows what cannot withstand the heat of your destiny. He removes what is flammable, so it does not burn you down. You are holding on to people who are structurally dangerous to your future. You say, but I love them. Listen carefully. You can appreciate the scaffolding for what it did, but you cannot live in it. You must live in the building. If you try to keep scaffolding up after construction is complete, you create a hazard. God is the master architect. He looks at your life and says, the foundation is set, the walls are firm, the structure is ready, strike the scaffolding. And suddenly, the texts slow down, the invitations stop, the connection feels silent. It is not dead, it is finished. There is a difference between death and completion. Some relationships are not dying, they are simply complete. Stop mourning what has fulfilled its purpose. Standing alone as a finished structure can feel uncomfortable. The wind hits you directly. The rain touches you without filters. But that is the point. You were built to withstand the wind. You were built to endure the storm. You were not built to hide behind temporary support forever. God sometimes removes human crutches to teach you divine balance. So when they leave, when they disappear, when they walk away, do not chase the scaffolding truck down the street screaming for it to come back. Instead, say, thank you for what you helped build. Then turn around, look at yourself, look at the strength you have now that you did not have years ago. Look at the wisdom you carry. The scaffolding is gone, but the building remains. And now that the view is clear, now that the structure stands exposed in its beauty, be careful. Because when something strong and visible stands tall, not everyone who approaches has good intentions. Some people come to admire, some come to destroy. And that is why we must now talk about what you keep trying to hold on to. Because sometimes the real danger is not who left. It is what you are still trying to drink from the past. Let's talk about memory. Memory is a liar. You know exactly what I mean. It's late at night. The house is quiet, your phone is dim, and your mind starts to wander. You start thinking about them, about how it used to feel, about what you almost had. And suddenly, your brain becomes an editor. It cuts the arguments. It deletes the disrespect. It erases the nights you cried yourself to sleep. It removes the anxiety, the tension, the feeling of walking on eggshells. And what does it leave? The highlight reel, the laughter, the vacations, the one time they surprised you, the potential. You sit there and sip that memory like a glass of fine wine. It feels warm, it feels sweet, and you start thinking, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe I should call. Put the glass down. That is not wine. That is poison. Nostalgia is one of the greatest enemies of progress. It is a trick of the light. It makes the past look better than it was. And the future looks scarier than it is. In the Bible, in the book of Genesis, there's the story of Lot's wife. God sends angels to rescue Lot and his family from Sodom and Gomorrah before destruction comes. The instruction was simple: escape for your life, do not look back. Do not look back, but she did, and she became a pillar of salt. Why salt? Because salt preserves. Salt keeps things exactly as they are. When you keep looking back at what God delivered you from, you are trying to preserve something that was meant to end. You are trying to keep fresh what was already rotting. You freeze yourself in a moment that was never meant to be permanent. You become stuck. You become stalled. You become a monument to your past instead of momentum toward your future. Every time you text that ex, every time you scroll through their pictures, every time you replay old conversations in your head, you are looking back at a burning city. You say, I just want closure. No, you want resurrection. You want to bring something back to life because you're afraid to walk forward alone. But dead things, when dug up, do not look the way they did when they were alive. They decay, they damage, they infect. Stop romanticizing what broke you. Stop replaying the story of us and start confronting the reality of you. You have to discipline your memory. When your mind whispers, remember how good it was, you answer back, I also remember the anxiety. I remember feeling small. I remember praying for a way out. And that prayer, it was answered. The door opened. Why are you still standing at the doorway looking over your shoulder? There is a reason the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror. Where you are going matters more than where you have been. You cannot move forward while staring backward. Eventually, you will crash emotionally, spiritually, relationally. And it's not just about you. When you cling to the past, you block the people assigned to your future. New relationships cannot enter when your hands are still gripping old baggage. You have to drop it. Nostalgia will tell you your best days are behind you. Faith tells you your best days are ahead. Which voice are you going to believe? The lie that says, I'll never find anyone like that again? Or the truth that says, there is something healthier, stronger, and more aligned waiting for me? You cannot hold on to the past and grasp the future at the same time. Letting go does not mean you forget. It means you remove the power from the memory. It means you can look at the photo and feel wisdom instead of pain. You can remember the season without trying to move back into it. You can appreciate the lesson without rebuilding the house. So tonight, when the memories try to pour themselves into your glass, don't drink. Stand up, wash your face, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am not going back. I am not turning around. What's behind me can stay behind me. I am moving forward because the poison only works if you drink it. Put the glass down, walk away, and when you do, you will notice something both terrifying and liberating. The road ahead is empty. No footprints, no guarantees, no script. That might scare you, but it should also excite you. Because an empty road means possibility. It means growth. It means freedom. And before you take that first step, check your heart. Because sometimes you leave the people behind, but you carry their voices with you. And the next chapter of your life requires silence from the past, so you can finally hear your own. You left. You blocked the number. You moved to a new city. You changed your job. Physically, they're gone. But the voice is still there. You're driving to work, feeling confident, feeling focused, and suddenly you hear it. You're not qualified for this. You're gonna mess this up like you always do. Who do you think you are? It sounds like you. It's inside your head. But if you listen closely, that's not you. That's your father's criticism. That's your ex's sarcasm. That's the teacher who called you slow. That's the friend who laughed at your dream. These are phantom voices. Have you ever heard of phantom limb syndrome? When someone loses a limb, but for years afterward, they still feel it. They feel fingers that aren't there. They feel an itch in a hand that no longer exists. The limb is gone, but the brain hasn't accepted the separation. You remove toxic people from your life, but your mind is still firing signals to their opinions. You're holding board meetings in your head with people who don't even have access to the building anymore. Why are you letting people who didn't love you vote on your future? Why are you letting people who couldn't manage their own lives manage your self-worth? You look in the mirror and hear, "You're not attractive enough." Is that you, or is that their voice? You look at your progress and think, "You're behind." Is that you, or is that someone who doubted you? The Bible says to take every thought captive. That's not passive language. It doesn't say politely suggest the thought leave. It says take it captive, arrest it, handcuff it, question it. The next time that voice shows up, pause. Ask yourself, whose voice is that? Is it God? No. God corrects, but he doesn't shame. He guides, but he doesn't degrade. Is it truly you? No. You want growth. You want peace. You want to win. So if it's not God and it's not you, it's a trespasser. And trespassers get evicted. When the voice says, "You'll never make it," respond, "That is not my voice. That is a phantom, and it does not have authority here." You are the CEO of your mind. Imagine walking into your boardroom and seeing every person who hurt you sitting at the table, criticizing your strategy, judging your decisions, eating your resources. What would you do? You wouldn't grab a notebook and take notes. You would say, "This meeting is over. You're dismissed." Stop taking advice from people who failed your life. Silence is valuable. Peace is valuable, and you have to protect it. When you stop listening to a bully, they don't go quiet immediately. They get louder. They panic. They try to regain control. Let them. Let the old voices shout for a while. You keep moving forward. You keep building. You keep praying. You keep speaking truth over yourself. Eventually, the volume fades. Eventually, the noise weakens. And then there is silence. Not empty silence. Strong silence. In that silence, you finally hear something different. You hear your own voice, not the defensive version, not the insecure version, not the version trying to prove something. The real you. And that voice says, "You are stronger than you were told. You are more capable than they believed. You are not who they labeled you as." But you will never discover that voice if you are constantly debating with ghosts. Clear the room, shut the meeting down, reclaim your mind, and when the silence settles, you will face something deeper. You will face the mirror, and you will realize that for a long time, you allowed those voices to stay. So now there's one final step. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for believing them. Forgive yourself for doubting yourself. Forgive yourself for letting ghosts rent space in your head. Because growth begins the moment you stop arguing with the past and start leading your own life. We have weathered the storm. We tore down the scaffolding. We poured out the poison. We silenced the phantom voices. But there is still one person left in the room. You. You're angry at them for what they did. But if you're honest, truly honest, you're angry at yourself for allowing it. You replay the decisions. You revisit the red flags. You think, "I should have known better. I should have left sooner. I should have seen it." Now let me ask you something. If a prisoner is sitting on death row, guilty, aware, ashamed, and suddenly a pardon comes through, the gates swing open, freedom is granted, does he say, "No, I deserve to stay"? No, he walks out. God has already forgiven you. The governor of the universe reviewed your file. He saw the mistakes. He saw the wasted years. He saw the compromises, and he signed the pardon. Free to go. So who are you to remain in a cell that has already been unlocked? Are you more righteous than God? Is your judgment more perfect than His? If the Creator of the stars declares you worthy of another chance, your self-condemnation does not outrank His grace. You must forgive the younger version of yourself. That version didn't know what you know now. That version was lonely. That version was searching. That version was doing the best it could with limited wisdom and limited light. Have compassion for that person. Instead of attacking them, embrace them. Say it. "I forgive you for staying too long. I forgive you for ignoring the warning signs. I forgive you for trying to love someone who couldn't love you back. You did the best you could with the awareness you had at the time. Now you have more awareness. That's not stupidity. That's growth. You cannot drive forward while sitting in the back seat attacking the driver. And you cannot see the road clearly with guilt covering your eyes. Guilt is a blindfold. It convinces you that your mistake is more powerful than grace, and that is pride disguised as humility. Drop the pride, accept the mercy, wash your hands of the past, wash your face. The water runs clear now. You are not damaged goods. You are not used up. You are not foolish. You are experienced. You are refined. You are someone who survived a hard lesson. And do you know what we call someone who survives a hard lesson and learns from it? Wise. The pardon has been signed. The door is open. The sunlight is outside. Walk out. Leave the prisoner's uniform on the floor. Now here's the part no one talks about. When you step into that freedom, it feels strange. It feels light. You look around and think, what do I do with all this space? You used to fill your time with chaos. You used to fill your thoughts with their needs, their moods, their drama. Now there is silence, there is room. And if you don't intentionally fill that space with something healthy, the old patterns will try to return. This is where renovation begins. You look in the mirror and say, how could I have been so blind? Why did I tolerate that? Why did I betray myself? That weight can feel heavier than what they did to you because you can cut them off, but you still have to live with yourself. And sometimes, without realizing it, you punish yourself. You sabotage opportunities. You push away new blessings. You shrink when something good comes your way. Why? Because deep down, you think the old you doesn't deserve better. Stop that. Listen carefully. You do not need to serve a sentence for a lesson you have already learned. Growth is the payment. Wisdom is the tuition. You owe no further debt. So today, you issue a pardon. Not from arrogance, not from denial, but from maturity. You stand in front of the mirror and say, I release myself. I forgive myself. I am no longer who I was, and I refuse to keep punishing someone who has already changed. That is where real freedom begins. Not when they leave, not when the voices go quiet, but when you stop sentencing yourself for a crime you've already grown beyond. We've done the demolition. We tore down the scaffolding. We poured out the poison. We evicted the ghosts. We signed the pardon. Now, look around you. What do you see? Space. A whole lot of empty space. Your life is quiet now. The drama is gone. The constant text messages are gone. The late night arguments are gone. The anxiety of wondering where they are is gone. And to be honest, it feels a little weird, doesn't it? It feels hollow. That's dangerous because nature abhors a vacuum. Physics tells us that empty spaces don't stay empty for long. Something always rushes in to fill the void. Jesus told a story about this. He talked about a man who got rid of an unclean spirit. The spirit wandered through dry places looking for rest and found none. So it said, I will return to my house from which I came. And when it got back, it found the house empty, swept, and put in order, clean, but empty. So what did the spirit do? It went and took 7 other spirits, more wicked than itself, and they entered and dwelt there. And the last state of that man was worse than the first. Why? Because he cleaned the house, but he didn't furnish it. You cannot just stop doing the wrong things. You have to start building the right things. You can't just evict the devil. You have to invite in the Holy Spirit. You can't just stop obsessing over your ex. You have to start obsessing over your purpose. Welcome to the renovation. This is where the real work begins. Demolition is easy. Any fool can break something. Swinging a hammer takes energy, but it doesn't take skill. You can destroy a relationship in 5 minutes. You can destroy a reputation in 1 tweet. But building takes a blueprint. Building takes discipline. Building takes patience. You need a new blueprint for your life. Most people know exactly what they don't want. I don't want a liar. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to feel insecure. Okay, good. I'm glad we established that. But tell me, what do you want? If you walked onto a construction site and told the contractor, build me a house that isn't ugly, he couldn't do it. He needs dimensions, he needs specs, he needs a vision. You need to sit down with the architect, that's God, and draft the plans. What does the new version of you look like? Not the version who is recovering, the version who is thriving. What does your peace look like? What does your joy look like? What does your career look like when you aren't distracted by nonsense? You have to be specific. You have to visualize the structure. I want a relationship built on mutual respect where we pray together. That's a beam. I want a career that uses my gifts to help others. That's a window. I want a body that is healthy and strong because it is the temple of the Holy Spirit. That's the foundation. Write it down. The Bible says, write the vision and make it plain on tablets. If you don't write it down, you are just daydreaming. If you write it down, you are drafting a contract with your future. Now, I have to warn you, renovation is messy. When you start fixing up a house, it usually looks worse before it looks better. You rip up the carpet and find rot in the floorboards. You open up a wall and find faulty wiring. When you start fixing your life, you are going to find things you didn't expect. You're going to find insecurities you buried deep. You're going to find habits harder to break than you thought. You might think, man, I was happier when I was ignorant. I was happier when I was just numb. No, you weren't. You were just comfortable in the dirt. Do not be afraid of the mess. The mess means you are working. The sawdust means you are cutting away the dead wood. The sweat means you are building muscle. This is the season of the grind. And I don't mean hustle culture. I don't mean working yourself to death for money. I mean the spiritual grind of character development. You have to show up to the construction site of your life every single day. You don't feel like praying? Show up anyway. That's laying a brick. You don't feel like working out? Show up anyway. That's pouring cement. You want to call them back? Don't pick up the phone. That's installing a lock on the door. Every positive decision you make is a brick in the wall of your new sanctuary. Every time you choose discipline over emotion, you are framing the roof. And let me tell you something about this new house you are building. It is going to be different than the old one. The old one was built to accommodate people who didn't appreciate you. It had wide doors for easy access, so anyone could walk in with muddy shoes and track dirt on your carpet. It had thin walls, so every wind blew it over. This new house, the doors are narrower. Not everyone gets a key. The walls are reinforced with steel. The foundation is dug deep into the rock. You are building a fortress. You are building a palace. You are building a place where the Holy Spirit can dwell comfortably. And when you build a house like that, when you build a life of value, of dignity, of purpose, do you know what happens? You attract a different quality of guest. High-value people don't hang out in condemned buildings. They hang out in palaces. If you want a king, you have to build a castle. If you want a queen, you have to build a throne room. You can't attract the person God has for you while you are living in the rubble of your past. You have to renovate. You have to prepare the space. So grab your hammer, grab your blueprint, stop staring at the demolition site and crying over the ruins. Stop looking at the pile of debris and wishing it was a house again. It's gone. Let it go. Look at the land. Look at the potential. Look at the ground God has given you. It is time to build. It is time to sweat. It is time to create something so beautiful, so strong, and so full of light that when you look back at the old shack you used to cry over, you will laugh. You didn't know this was possible. You didn't know you could be this strong. You didn't know you could be this peaceful. But the house isn't finished yet. We have the frame, we have the roof, we have the walls. But a house isn't a home until you protect it. You've built it. Now you have to defend it. Because once you build something of value, thieves will come. They will see your light and they will want to steal it. Are you ready to learn how to lock the door? We built the house. The foundation is faith. The walls are discipline. The roof is purpose. It's beautiful. But a beautiful house without a lock is just a storage unit for thieves. You see, the moment you start building something valuable, a career, a peace of mind, a relationship with God, you become a target. When you were broken, nobody cared. The devil doesn't rob empty houses. He robs banks. He robs treasuries. And now that you have value, now that you have joy, you have something to lose. So, who is watching the door? In the ancient world, the most important person in the city wasn't the king. It wasn't the merchant. It was the gatekeeper. If the gatekeeper fell asleep, the city died. If the gatekeeper was bribed, the enemy walked right in. You are the gatekeeper of your own soul. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Note the urgency. It doesn't say, when you have time, guard your heart. It says, above all else. Before you check your bank account, before you check Instagram, before you check your emails, check the gate. Most of you have no security system. You live your life like a 24-hour convenience store. The doors are wide open. The neon sign is buzzing. Open. Anyone can walk in off the street, trash the aisles, spill coffee on the floor, and leave without paying. And you just stand there behind the counter, sweeping up the mess, wondering why you're so exhausted. Stop being a convenience store. Become a fortress. You need to install a screening process. When someone wants access to your time, your energy, your body, you need to check their ID. You need to look at their credentials. Who are you? What do you want? Do you have a history of destruction? Are you here to build, or are you here to break? If they don't have the right papers, they don't get in. I don't care how nice they seem. I don't care how much potential they have. If they are carrying emotional dynamite, you do not let them into your living room. People say, oh, but that's not nice. That's not Christian. Christians are supposed to be open. Wrong. Jesus loved everyone, but he didn't let everyone into his inner circle. He had the crowds, then the 72, then the 12. And at the cross, only John was there. He had boundaries. He had gates. He knew that not everyone who ate the bread was ready to carry the cross. You are letting people into your VIP section. Who belong in the parking lot? You have to get comfortable with the word no. No is a complete sentence. It doesn't require an explanation. It doesn't require an apology. Can I come over? No. Can I borrow money? No. Can we just talk? No. When you say no to the wrong things, you are saying yes to your peace. You are protecting the property value of your soul. Now, listen to me. When you start locking the gate, people will get angry. They will bang on the door. They will yell, "You've changed? You think you're better than us now?" Let them yell. They aren't mad that you've changed. They are mad that they can't use you anymore. They are mad that the free ride is over. They are mad that the door that used to be open is now locked tight. That is not your problem. That is the sound of your security system working. Guard your ear gate. What music are you listening to? What podcasts? If you are listening to trash, you are going to produce trash. Guard your eye gate. What are you watching? Pornography? Mindless drama? Violence? You are feeding your subconscious. You are inviting wolves into the sheep pen and wondering where the blood is coming from. You have to be ruthless. If your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off. That is extreme language. Jesus wasn't playing games. He was saying, protect the asset at all costs. Some of you are open-minded. You pride yourself on being open to everything. But if you leave your windows open during a storm, your house gets flooded. If you leave your windows open in a swamp, you get mosquitoes. Being open-minded without a filter is just being a garbage can. Close the windows, lock the doors, set a watchman on the wall of your life, and give him orders. to shoot on sight anything that threatens your destiny. Because here is the truth. You have work to do. You have a purpose to fulfill. You have a race to run. You cannot run that race carrying the baggage of everyone else. You cannot build a legacy if you are constantly repairing the damage caused by trespassers. The renovation is done. The house is clean. The furniture is set. Now, stand at the door. Stand tall, stand firm, hold the keys in your hand. Look at the world and say, this is holy ground. You cannot enter here unless you are sent by God. And if they aren't, keep the gate shut. You are the gatekeeper, and your shift starts now. But even the best gatekeeper gets tired. Even the strongest walls can be breached if the foundation shakes. We have secured the perimeter. We have locked the doors. But there is one final test, the test that determines if you can actually keep this new life. It's the test of endurance. It's the test of time. You are the gatekeeper, and your shift starts now. We have done the heavy lifting. We cut the cords. We built the house. We locked the gate. And right now, you feel strong. You feel motivated. You feel like you could conquer the world. But I have to tell you the truth about what comes next. Because tomorrow is just Tuesday. And next week is another Tuesday. And the week after that is another Tuesday. The adrenaline is going to fade. The music is going to stop. The applause, if there ever was any, will die down. And it will just be you, your new habits, and the silence. This is where 99% of people quit. They love the launch. They love the breakthrough. They love the testimony where they cry and shout, I'm changed. But they hate the maintenance. Welcome to the long game. We live in a microwave generation. We want 30-second rice, 5-minute abs, overnight success, a husband by Christmas, $1 million by Friday. But God is a slow cooker. He doesn't make microwaves, he makes oak trees. And do you know how long it takes to grow an oak tree? Decades. Because if you grow too fast, you don't have enough strength to hold up the weight of your own branches. If you receive the blessing before you develop the character to carry it, the blessing will crush you. You are praying for a sudden breakthrough. Be careful. Sudden success is often a curse in disguise. Look at lottery winners. Look at child stars. They received the fruit before they developed the roots, and it destroyed them. You are trying to sprint a marathon. That is why you are exhausted. That is why you are burned out. You say, I've been doing the right thing for a month. Why isn't everything perfect yet? A month? Try a year? Try 10 years? Does the farmer yell at the crop, hurry up, I'm hungry? No, he waters it, he weeds it, he waits, he trusts the process. Just because he cannot see the seed does not mean it is not working. It is working in the dark. It is working underground. You are in the underground season. You are doing the right things, and nobody sees it. You are praying, and nobody hears it. You are staying faithful, and nobody gives you a medal. Good. That is where character is forged. Character is not built on the stage. It is built in the dark room. The long game is boring. Let's be honest. Discipline is boring. Consistency is boring. Eating healthy every day is boring. Saving money is boring. But do you know what is not boring? Victory, freedom, legacy. If you chase the excitement of the new, you will always be starting over. You will become a professional starter and an amateur finisher. You know those people, a new business idea every 6 months, a new relationship every year, addicted to the start, but never reaching the harvest, because they quit as soon as it gets quiet. You must fall in love with the boredom. You must fall in love with the grind. Wake up and say, I will do the same right thing I did yesterday, and I will do it again tomorrow. It is not flashy. It will not go viral, but that is how you build a life that lasts. Think about Noah. For years he built the ark. Year after year of hammering. Year after year of people laughing. Year after year with no rain. Imagine the faithfulness that takes to swing a hammer when you have not seen a single drop of water. But when the rain finally came, who was ready? Who floated while everyone else sank? The man who played the long game. You are building your ark right now. Every day you choose discipline over impulse. You are hammering a plank. Every day you choose growth over distraction. You are sealing it tight. It may not be raining yet. The sun may be shining. People may ask, why are you so serious? Why are you so focused? Let them laugh. They are playing for today. You are playing for eternity. They are building sandcastles. You are building a fortress. So stop staring at your watch. Stop asking, when will it happen? It will happen when you are ready, when your roots are deep enough to support the fruit. Settle in. Get comfortable. We are not going anywhere. We are not here to make a splash. We are here to make a river. A splash lasts a second. A river carves canyons over time. Be the river, and when you finally understand the long game, when you stop rushing, something incredible happens. The anxiety fades. The pressure lifts because you realize you do not have to make it happen by Friday. You only have to be faithful today. God holds the timeline. You hold the hammer, so keep swinging. But even the strongest runner needs a finish line. Even the longest game has an end. We have faced the past. We have built the present. We have prepared for the future. Now we must talk about the final piece, the piece that gives all of this meaning, because you are not building this life just for you. You are building it for them. We have talked about you. We have talked about your pain. We have talked about your healing. We have talked about your house, your gate, your grind. But if we stop there, if this whole journey is just about you feeling better, then we have failed. Because you are not just a person, you are a seed. And a seed that refuses to die, refuses to break open, refuses to be buried, is just a nut. It sits on the shelf. It stays safe. It stays whole, but it never becomes a forest. Jesus said, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds. You have done a lot of dying lately. You died to your old self. You died to your ego. You died to your need for validation. You died to that toxic relationship. Why? Why did you have to go through that pain? Why did you feel crushed? Because the shell had to break. He was not trying to destroy you. He was trying to plant you. Welcome to the legacy. When you are gone, when the car drives away, when the food is eaten, when the flowers fade, what remains? Your car will be sold, your clothes will be donated, your house will belong to someone who does not know your name. But your legacy, that is the echo you leave in the canyon of time. Most people leave a legacy of trauma. They were hurt, so they hurt their children. They were insecure, so they created insecurity. They were angry, so they left broken relationships behind them. That is a legacy, a painful one, a generational pattern. But you did the work. You cleared the debris. You renovated the house. You locked the gate. Now you are positioned to leave a legacy of blessing. Because you healed, your children do not have to heal from you. Because you broke the cycle, your bloodline does not have to repeat it. Because you learned peace, your family can live in it. That is the greatest inheritance you can leave. Not money, not property, wholeness. Think about the people who impacted you the most. A grandmother who prayed, a teacher who believed in you, a coach who refused to let you quit. They are still with you. Their voice echoes in your mind. Their courage strengthened yours. They did not just live, they multiplied. You have that same power. Every interaction is a seed. Every word is a seed. Are you planting weeds or are you planting oaks? But I don't have children. It does not matter. Legacy is not only biological, it is relational. You leave a legacy at work by being the one person with integrity. You leave a legacy in friendships by speaking truth with love. You leave a legacy online by building people up instead of tearing them down. But here is the cost. Legacy requires you to stop thinking about right now. We live in a selfie culture. Look at me, validate me, approve me. Legacy is the opposite of a selfie. Legacy is planting a tree you will never sit under. Legacy is selfless. Legacy is expensive. It costs comfort. It costs pride. It means forgiving, not because they deserve it, but because you refuse to pass bitterness to the next generation. It means fighting for what matters, so someone watching you learns what commitment looks like. You survived the storm. You are still standing. That is a testimony. The enemy thought you would fold, thought the heartbreak would make you bitter, but it didn't. You did not get bitter. You got better. And now you are dangerous to darkness, because a healed person can heal others. A free person can free others. You are a chain breaker. Every time you choose faith over fear, a chain snaps. Every time you choose love over hate, a chain snaps. And the sound of those chains breaking, that is the music of your legacy. Look at your circle. Those people are your garden. Stop asking, what can I get from them? Start asking, what can I plant in them? One day, sooner than you think, you will take your last breath. Your account will close. Your race will finish. And you will not be asked how many followers you had or what car you drove. The question will be simple. What did you do with the people I gave you? Did you love them? Did you serve them? Did you point them upward? You built a strong house. Now fill it with people. You guarded the gate. Now open it for those who need shelter. You played the long game. Now pass the baton. Run your race in such a way that others want to run too. Live so that when you are gone, the world feels a little emptier, but eternity feels a little fuller. That is the goal. That is the prize. That is the legacy. We have walked a long road together, from the disconnect to the legacy. 9 steps, 9 chapters. But a book is not finished until someone writes the end. Or maybe this is not the end at all. Maybe this is the beginning. There is one final word, one final charge, one final command to send you forward. Are you ready to close the book? We are at the end. We tore down the old structures. We dug deep foundations. We framed the walls. We installed the locks. We endured the weight. We planted the seeds of legacy. But a house that is never lived in is just a museum. A soldier who trains but never fights is just playing dress up. A runner who stretches but never races is just a spectator. You have the tools, you have the mindset, you have the spirit. So what are you still doing here? Why are you still sitting in the classroom? Why are you still reading the manual? It is time to go. This is the commission. In the military, a commission is an official charge. It is authority granted to lead. It is the declaration that says, you are ready. You have the power. Now execute the mission. Jesus did not say, stay here and think about me. He said, go. Go into the world. Teach, build, impact, movement, action, purpose. Some of you are addicted to preparation. You are professional preparers. You have read 50 books on business, but you have not launched anything. You have listened to countless messages on marriage, but you have not had the hard conversation. You have prayed for opportunity, but you have not stepped toward it. You are hiding behind getting ready. Preparation is good, but eventually, preparation becomes procrastination. Eventually, waiting becomes hesitation. And heaven is saying, I already equipped you. You are afraid to fail, afraid to look foolish, afraid you are not ready. Here is the truth. You will never feel 100% ready. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is fear that decided to move anyway. It is looking at the giant and taking the step forward. It is stepping out of the boat while your knees are still shaking. You must throw the stone, not just hold it, not just pray over it. Throw it, write the book, start the project, make the call, offer the apology. The world is starving for what you carry. It is confused. It is searching. it is weary, and you are sitting there with light inside you, covered up. No more. Your pain was tuition. Now use the degree. People are drowning. Stop sitting in the lifeboat. Row, row into the storm. Row into the mess. Row toward the broken places. That is your assignment. You are not just a survivor. You are a rescuer, not a victim, a victor. Lift your chin, square your shoulders, walk with confidence, not arrogance, authority, because you know who sent you. You are an ambassador. An ambassador does not represent himself. He represents his kingdom. He does not panic about provision. He trusts his source. You are backed by heaven. You are equipped with faith, with truth, with conviction. So what are you afraid of? Here are your orders. First, do not settle. Do not get comfortable in good enough. Do not stop halfway up the mountain just because the view is nice. Climb to the summit. Second, do not look back. Do not anchor yourself to yesterday's mistakes. You are moving forward. Third, do not do it alone. Isolation weakens. Community strengthens. Find your people. Build your circle. Stay connected. Fourth, give glory where it belongs. When you win, and you will win, stay humble. Remember the source. This is it. The training is complete. The renovation is finished. The door is open. The world is waiting. Not for the fearful version of you. Not for the hesitant version of you. Not for the maybe someday version of you. The commissioned you. The you with fire in your heart. The you who speaks with clarity. The you who loves without fear. I have given you the blueprint. I have handed you the keys. Now, start the engine. Drive. It is your turn.